A functional shelter is the foundation of survival. It turns a hostile, rain-soaked jungle into a sustainable refuge. Here is how one man built it from the ground up. Before the walls can rise, the raw materials must be harvested by hand. Building an elevated structure by the river requires immense physical labor. The design has to withstand constant moisture and unstable ground. The chosen site offers natural cover and immediate access to water. However, building near a riverbank means contending with soft soil, requiring a raised foundation to prevent rot. After clearing the brush, the first task is sourcing raw timber. Hardwoods from the surrounding canopy provide the necessary rigidity for the primary weight-bearing columns. Every piece is selected for straightness and density. The sharpened uprights are driven deep into the mud. Friction and packed earth anchor the base, but the real stability comes from structural geometry. By carving precise notches into the vertical columns, the builder creates mechanical joints that lock the horizontal beams in place. This technique transfers the sheer weight of the roof directly down into the ground, bypassing the need for modern hardware. Every cut has to be exact. A loose joint will shift under load, slowly tearing the frame apart as the wood expands and contracts in the humidity. Driving horizontal poles across the uprights establishes the primary skeletal grid. The elevated base protects the living area from flash floods and crawling insects. It also allows air to circulate underneath, drying out the floorboards after heavy rain. Hand tools dictate the pace of the work, forcing a slower, deliberate rhythm, where every swing of the hammer must be calculated. Anchoring the platform to an existing tree trunk borrows the root system's immense strength. Nailing a small wooden block beneath the joint acts as a structural corbel, preventing the crossbeam from sliding downward under heavy weight. The horizontal bamboo poles are lashed and hammered into place to create the subfloor grid. Bamboo possesses an incredible tensile strength-to-weight ratio, rivaling mild steel. Its hollow, chambered structure flexes under pressure, rather than snapping, making it the ideal material for a suspended floor. Aligning these long beams requires careful balance and an understanding of load distribution. Spacing them too far apart would cause the floor to sag, while placing them too close wastes valuable time and energy. As the grid tightens, the skeletal frame locks into a rigid platform. The structure is no longer just a collection of loose poles. It is a unified foundation capable of supporting the walls, the roof, and the builder himself. Gathering the flooring requires thick, mature bamboo stalks, recognizable by their dark green color and dense cell walls. Cutting them at the base with a machete is a rhythmic, labor-intensive process. A clean diagonal strike severs the fibers without splintering the internal nodes. Green bamboo is heavy with water weight, making the extraction physically demanding. However, working with it fresh is essential, as the material remains pliable and easy to split. Once dragged back to the platform, the poles are measured and trimmed to create uniform floor joists. The structural integrity of the shelter relies entirely on this continuous cycle, harvesting and shaping raw materials from the immediate environment. Splitting the thick cylinders into flat strips requires a steady hand and a heavy blade. By striking the end and leveraging the blade downward, the natural vertical grain of the bamboo dictates the split. This technique produces long, uniform slats that are ideal for decking. The silica-rich outer skin provides a durable, water-resistant walking surface. A final support stake is driven into the earth to brace the cantilevered edge. The tightly laid slats create a solid, breathable platform that prevents stagnant moisture. With the foundation secure, the focus shifts upward to the wall plates. These horizontal supports will define the interior living space. Hours later, the wall enclosures are finished and the roof structure begins. The builder cuts lighter bamboo poles to form the rafters. Because the roof carries no foot traffic, mass is sacrificed for ease of assembly. A steep pitch is established to shed heavy tropical rainfall instantly. Standing on the elevated deck, securing these overhead beams requires constant balance. The entire frame acts as a monolithic unit, resisting the lateral force of high winds. To waterproof the structure quickly, a black plastic tarp is unrolled and draped over the ridgeline. While natural thatch offers better insulation, synthetic sheeting guarantees immediate, impenetrable protection against the coming storms. Pulling the tarp taut eliminates sagging pockets, where water could pool and collapse the roof under its own weight. The shelter is now a dry, defensible space. Inside, a split bamboo purlin is wedged beneath the tarp, preventing the material from flapping in the wind. The interior walls are clad with pre-assembled bamboo panels. Working inside the small footprint demands efficiency. The dense lattice work blocks, driving rain while still permitting a slight cross breeze, preventing the stagnant humidity that leads to mold. Small adjustments are made to align the seams and minimize drafts. Smoke from a small fire below is drawn up through the porous floorboards. This intentional smudging acts as a natural insect repellent, driving mosquitoes out of the enclosed space. Drop-in lattice shutters provide vital control over ventilation and natural light. By building them as removable inserts, the builder can seal the cabin completely during a downpour. On the exterior, the increasing weight of the enclosed structure requires additional reinforcement. A heavy timber brace is harvested, notched, and driven at an angle against the main vertical posts. Every corner of the frame is tested for movement. The angled wood transfers the building's top-heavy load directly into the solid earth below. As the canopy overhead dims, the structural integrity of the shelter is thoroughly locked in. To expand the usable footprint beyond the dark interior, a front balcony is framed out. A heavy wooden upright is sharpened and driven into the dirt to carry the cantilevered load. Securing a crossbrace with a steel nail ensures the platform won't shear away from the main cabin. For the railing, fresh bamboo is split down into pliable, thin strips. These lengths are wrapped and hammered along the perimeter, establishing a vital safety barrier on the elevated deck. The railing also stiffens the vertical posts, tying the entire forward extension together. The addition of the porch fundamentally changes the shelter from a simple sleeping box into a livable homestead. It creates a dry, elevated zone for cooking and working, separating the living quarters from the damp jungle floor. With a sturdy staircase leading down to the riverbank, the exterior construction reaches its final phase. Minor accessories are fashioned from leftover twigs. Using heavy waterproof tape creates rapid, flexible joints that bind the small wooden pieces together without the need for intricate lashing. It is a quick solution for organizing gear and keeping critical items off the muddy ground. These small, practical additions make daily life in the remote camp slightly more efficient. As the afternoon rain rolls in, the true value of the structure becomes obvious. The heavy tarp sheds water flawlessly, keeping the interior bone dry. Sitting on the covered porch, the builder is fully insulated from the elements. Nearby, natural vines clinging to the trees are inspected and processed. These tough, fibrous strands are nature's cordage, useful for tying off loose gear or reinforcing structural lashings as they shrink and tighten over time. With the weather holding him close to camp, routine maintenance begins. Wiping down the exterior bamboo with a damp cloth removes acidic dirt and sap. Left unchecked, organic debris accelerates rot and invites boring insects into the wood grain. Keeping the surface clean extends the lifespan of the untreated bamboo by months. The hut now sits as a refined, functional outpost amidst the raw wilderness, offering a rare pocket of comfort and control. Before the light fails completely, dry fuel must be secured. Hardwood sticks are sorted by thickness to ensure a fire that ignites quickly and burns hot enough to cut through the evening dampness. Without a steady supply of firewood, the shelter offers no warmth. A small, contained hearth is built on a layer of earth and green bamboo to prevent burning through the floorboards. Boiling river water is an absolute necessity, neutralizing waterborne pathogens. A hot cup of coffee provides an immediate morale boost after hours of heavy labor. The rising heat also helps dry out damp clothing. The porch serves as a secure workbench. Elevated away from ground moisture and crawling insects, the builder can focus on detailed tasks in relative comfort as the forest quiets down. Sustained physical work demands a massive intake of calories. A heavy carbon steel pan distributes heat evenly across the uneven flames of a wood fire. Onions and garlic are chopped directly on a plastic plate and thrown into the hot oil. The sizzling fat sears the aromatics, breaking down their starches to create a rich, savory base layer. Tomatoes are added to deglaze the pan, their natural acidity lifting the charred flavors from the iron surface. Cooking over an open fire requires constant attention, shifting the pan back and forth across the heat zones to prevent the meal from turning to ash. The simple ingredients are transformed into a dense, high-energy stew. The act of preparing a hot meal establishes a rhythm of domesticity in an otherwise wild environment. Pouring the finished dish back into the pan keeps it warm against the cooling night air. Every calorie consumed tonight is fuel for tomorrow's survival. As dusk settles, the fire becomes the absolute center of the camp. It provides essential illumination and serves as a psychological anchor against the encroaching darkness of the jungle. The heat pushes back the dropping temperatures, securing the perimeter. Eating inside the enclosed cabin offers a brief sanctuary from the biting insects outside. The dense bamboo walls trap the residual heat from the day, creating a surprisingly warm microclimate. After the meal, strict camp hygiene is maintained. Wiping down the eating surface prevents food scents from attracting unwanted scavengers in the middle of the night. Hydration is replenished, settling the body for recovery. Sitting quietly in the pitch black, the builder listens to the sounds of the canopy. The shelter is completely integrated into its environment, standing silent and strong under the deep purple sky. The day's labor is finally over. A low, slow-burning fire is banked for the night. Feeding thick, dense wood into the coals ensures the embers will last until dawn. The smoke column continues to drift upward, steadily clearing the mosquitoes away from the sleeping quarters above. It is a vital layer of defense. Keeping the fire alive means waking up to warmth instead of the chilling damp. The glowing embers stand in stark contrast to the black forest. Inside, the builder secures the lattice window, sealing off the cabin from the wind. Lying directly on the split bamboo floor, the rigid surface provides firm support for a tired back. The shelter has evolved from raw timber and mud into a secure, elevated haven. In the end, structure, landscape, and daily routine operate as one system. It is a place that produces, protects, and sustains itself. Survival is more than endurance. It is foresight.